Taking advantage of the fact that my husband was not around, my mother-in-law and her sisters did as they pleased. I confronted my mother-in-law, who was under the impression that she could behave as if our new house was her own without knowing anything about it. My name is Grace and I am 32 years old. At the time, I was 28 years old and had been married for 2 years to my husband Joshua. We lived with our son as a family of 3. My husband moved into the place that was originally my house, and we lived there. We continued to live in an apartment as a family of 3. We talked about buying a newly built house, but my husband was hardly ever home and we couldn't have a proper conversation. My husband had a job that required him to travel frequently even when we were dating. So even as newlyweds, we didn't spend much time together, and even now, our lifestyle hasn't changed much from when we were single. I work remotely from home and take care of our child. But it's very easy not to worry about my husband's meals, and having time to myself is also a happy life. I'd like to go on a trip with the 3 of us when my husband's work settles down, but even if I say so, I'm busy with my child, so I think this lifestyle is not bad for 1 to 2 years. Just as I was thinking about such a carefree thing, someone visited my house. The intercom rang, and I heard a knock on the door and a voice calling me. That voice belonged to my mother-in-law. She came into the house without hesitation. Moreover, she brought 5 of her sisters with her. They were people who were my husband's aunts.
Grace, are you still dressed like that in your pajamas? It's already noon.
I don't have any plans to go anywhere today because I'm busy with work, and it was a sudden visit. I was wearing a long-sleeved sweatshirt and black pants. It was just a casual outfit that I could wear to a convenience store or when a delivery person came. When I answered that way, my mother-in-law gave me a cold look and continued talking.
It's embarrassing that my daughter-in-law is dressed like that. That's why Joshua doesn't come home. Dress more like a woman.
Joshua is at work. Besides, it doesn't matter if it's not feminine these days. My mother-in-law and my husband Joshua don't communicate much. The reason is, my mother-in-law is very intrusive. Joshua, who hates trouble, seems to ignore the persistent emails and phone calls from his mother, and I get the backlash.
Joshua will be back in about 2 months, you know?
Right, I'll be careful. Why do I have to worry about my appearance when I'm at home? That's what I thought, but I didn't want to bother arguing with my mother-in-law, so I just nodded along.
Oh, and you guys are thinking of building a new house, right? I know the president of a construction company. I'll introduce him to you, so call him here. He'll give you a good deal.
Thank you very much. The note I received from my mother-in-law had the phone number of the construction company. When I contacted my husband, he said he would leave everything to me. The house we were going to live in was already in the finishing stage, and thanks to the construction company, we were able to choose the design of the exterior and interior. I consulted with my husband a little bit, but I proceeded almost 90% as I liked. I was excited about the new house of my dreams, but my husband didn't seem to be that enthusiastic. Even when I sent him photos of the progress of the construction, he only said one word.
Got it.
That was it. But I was still happy until the house was finished, because I could have the new house I longed for. I was looking forward to the completion of the house, but one day, as I was reading the mail that arrived at my house, the intercom rang. It must be my mother-in-law and her sisters, I thought, and hesitated to go to the front door. Then I heard the sound of the door opening, some footsteps, and conversations, and I was surprised. I had left the key open. I was careless. My mother-in-law and her sisters come to visit every week without notice.
Hey, why do you not come out?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was in the bathroom and didn't notice. I wondered why I had to apologize as I said that. The 5 sisters of my mother-in-law said,
The house is almost finished, isn't it? Let's celebrate.
That sounds nice. I want to eat chicken dishes.
I'm in the mood for beef stew. Make it for me.
And they did whatever they wanted. Why do I have to cook for the couple's new house celebration when I'm the one involved? If I told them clearly that I didn't like it, my mother-in-law and her sisters would just yell at me that it was my duty as a wife. Even if I consulted with my husband about my mother-in-law and her sisters doing whatever they wanted.
They're family, so just deal with them.
He didn't seem to want to help me at all. My mother-in-law and her sisters opened my refrigerator without permission and rummaged through it. At that time, I heard a loud noise and went to the kitchen, and it seemed that they had broken the mug I cherished.
Oh no! What a mess!
It's okay, don't worry about it.
What? Don't you care? There's a stain on my bag.
It's dangerous to leave such fragile cups around. You should clean up quickly.
I was furious that they had used and broken my precious things without permission, but I had no choice but to deal with the broken mug. The sisters, and of course, my mother-in-law, didn't pay any attention to me, and started eating the snacks in the refrigerator and watching TV. A week after the sisters' selfish celebration party, the long-awaited house was completed. Even without me telling them, the sisters who knew the location of the house, as expected, came to visit the house a week after it was completed.
Oh, what a bland house. It's been a week and it's not tidy at all, and what do you mean there's only a refrigerator?
I'm broke because of the expenses, so I'll get everything ready by next week.
What are you talking about? You can't live comfortably like this.
That's right. Nobody would want to live in such a plain house. Let's go buy some furniture and appliances right now.
Oh, no, it's okay. I can use the old ones until next week. I refused, but I was dragged by the pushy sisters, and they bought me everything from sofas, TVs, TV stands, to microwave ovens and rice cookers, all new. I don't need you to go through all this trouble for me.
It's only natural.
That's right. Since we bought so much stuff, it must be hard to tidy up, right? We'll stay over for a while and help you.
Huh? It's okay.
It's fine, it's fine. Don't be shy.
I wasn't shy at all, but the sisters started to insist on staying over. Well, as expected, they had no intention of helping with the tidying up, and they just lazed around, complaining about their own families.
Grace, make some tea.
Oh, I want coffee.
I want something sweet.
I felt like I had reached my limit with the sisters who treated me like a servant. As I was preparing the drinks, the living room became quiet. I took the drinks and went to the living room, and there was no one there. I thought it was strange, and when I looked for them, they had entered my room without permission and were rummaging through my things.
Oh no! These clothes with exposed arms are no good.
My mother-in-law was tearing up my favorite camisoles and tops. By the time I got there, she had already torn up several clothes and put them in a plastic bag. I screamed at the sight. Hey! What are you doing? That's my clothes! As I was arguing with my mother-in-law,
Oh, this is nice. Give it to me too.
No way! I'll take it.
sisters were pulling on my necklace. Hey! It'll break!
Oh!
As soon as they said that, the necklace snapped.
Oh no, it's because you pulled it.
What have you done?
You don't need to get so angry, do you? You can just buy another one.
The necklace that the two sisters broke was a high-end brand. I was speechless and couldn't say anything.
What are you making a fuss about?
One of the sisters who hadn't been in my room until now came to the room, but what she had in her hand was a hobby book that I cherished. Excuse me, why do you have my book? I'd appreciate it if you could put it back where it was.
I was bored and wondered if there was anything interesting.
As she said that, she started flipping through the book, licking her finger and turning the pages. Excuse me.
What?
It was dirty, of course, but I was worried about something else.
Oh, it tore.
She turned the pages too hard, and several pages of my precious book tore. As I was shocked and depressed.
Why are you making such a gloomy face? It's not like we did anything wrong.
That's right.
The sisters laughed. I thought they were the ones who were wrong, but as I kept my mouth shut.
Oh, by the way, there's no bedding for us to stay over, is there?
That's true.
They changed the subject and left the room without feeling sorry. I was angry with the sisters who destroyed my house in no time. And they only targeted my things, and I wondered if they were doing it on purpose.
Hey, let's have steak for dinner tonight.
That sounds good.
We're tired, so please get us premium steak and luxury feather bedding for each of us.
You should have a regular steak. It's strange to say that you're the same as us, when your positions are different, right?
Is that so? By the way, the money is...
We're guests, you know? Do you intend to make us pay?
Well, you are guests, but I didn't invite you.
You're terrible. We're family, aren't we? We should support each other. We came to celebrate your new house, so you should at least act like a good host. That's normal, isn't it?
Family?
Oh, you want to say we're not family because we're not blood related?
Didn't you hear this from Joshua? I told him to tell you.
What? What are you talking about? It's only natural for a wife to serve her husband's family.
No, I'm single, you know?
What?
I divorced Joshua a week ago. You didn't know, did you? I thought you came here to harass me.
What do you mean?
Divorce? What's that?
A week ago, I received a letter. It was about my husband's affair. This is a copy of the evidence. What I showed the sisters was a photo of my husband with another woman. The sender is the husband of the woman he cheated with. Joshua is not only away for work, but he's also traveling with her.
No, no. That's a lie. My Joshua would never do such a dirty thing.
It's true. I actually exchanged emails with him, and he admitted to the affair. I also received alimony. He said he'll pay child support every month, so it's settled. Well, I don't need it anyway. Besides, the reason he married me was for money, right? My parents run a company. My husband said,
Mom told me to marry you for money, so I approached you. But a loveless marriage is meaningless. I'll pay you the alimony.
He didn't apologize, and I was shocked when I learned the truth, but I was able to accept his words easily. I even felt a little sorry for him, who was forced to marry me by his mother. But that doesn't mean what he did was forgivable, and he's paying me and the other husband alimony. The other husband is pitiful, but from what I heard, he wasn't a very good husband either, as his wife often had bruises on her face. Well, that's none of my business, so I won't interfere. My mother-in-law was stunned with her mouth open when she heard my story.
What? Then what are you going to do with this house?
There must be a loan left, and the value will go down if you live in it once, right?
You've only lived here for a week, so why don't you rent it out? You'll get a monthly income, won't you?
Good idea! Grace seems to have received alimony, so you won't say you want this house, will you?
You're terrible for divorcing without telling my sister. You should refuse the property division.
That's true. What do you think? We can manage this house for you, right?
And they carried on the conversation on their own. Excuse me? Refuse what? This house is under my name, you know?
What?
I did everything by myself, you know? What? The name is basically your husband's, right? What do you mean by basic? I earn more than him, and he was living in my house all this time.
Then, change the name. I won't let you make it yours alone. We'll pay the rent and the loan together, so change it.
There's nothing to forgive. The debt of this house is 0. Because my parents paid it all as a gift. It's completely mine. Joshua also agreed to it from the beginning, so he consented.
No, no. I don't accept that. It's something you bought when you were married.
Since we decided it with a lawyer, if you want to fight, let's meet at mediation with Joshua. Well, I think convincing Joshua is the first thing to do. When I said it clearly, the mother-in-law and her sisters were flustered.
Then I'll take back the appliances and stuff.
Go ahead.
You can eat a cold meal for a while. You're broke.
That's right. I'll have all the furniture and appliances delivered next week, so I'll eat out for a while. The reason I was broke was because I had already bought the appliances and furniture.
You said you had no money.
I was broke because I bought furniture and stuff. I refused to use the old ones until next week, didn't I?
What a cunning! You were planning to make it yours.
Humph. We'll take them back.
The sisters tried to take the appliances, but they stopped in their tracks.
Hey, how are we going to take them back?
We have no choice but to call a taxi, right?
It's difficult to carry everything at once.
You, lend me your car. We can't carry them without a big car. And while you're at it, take them all to my house.
I went shopping with my car, and I took the luggage home once, and then went to pick up the sisters who were waiting while drinking coffee. So, it was impossible for the sisters to take them back without my cooperation. I don't want to. Why don't you call 5 taxis and take them back yourself? Well, I don't think you can load things like TV stands into a taxi. As I refused, the sisters kept complaining. Why don't you ask the men for help? Not that I want to keep them in my house, since they're not mine.
What do we do?
We don't have a big car, you know.
That's right. Our sons are too far away to ask for cooperation.
There's nothing we can do but give up.
How about asking someone else?
The sisters were trying to call a contractor.
What? $600 just to transport them? Don't be ridiculous. Does it cost that much?
The sisters argued with the contractor on the phone, and were eventually turned down. It's rare to be rejected by the contractor. The sisters were dejected and silent. Excuse me, can you leave soon?
We'll leave without you telling us.
Oh, and please pay for my mug, clothes, necklace, and so on.
Enough! How greedy! This should be enough.
That necklace costs $2,000, you know? The sisters grumbled and pooled their money, and begged me to let them off with $2,000 for the necklace, since they had no more money. At the very end,
I'll give it to you. Do whatever you want with the appliances and stuff. You're also to blame for keeping quiet.
she spat out and left, but I accepted it with a smile. The reason, of course, was that I could make a lot of money by selling everything. The mother-in-law and sisters didn't seem to have the idea of selling, and probably disposed of the unnecessary things. Well, even if they wanted to sell, they had to take them back, and maybe they really just gave up. After that, I tidied up the furniture and appliances, and sold the ones I didn't need. Thanks to that, I got some pocket money without doing anything, and I was lucky. Now, 4 years later, I receive child support from my ex-husband every month. I also got promoted at work, and my salary became a decent amount. So, I told my ex-husband that he didn't have to pay child support, but he said he wanted to keep paying because he loved his child. I haven't had any trouble with my ex-mother-in-law since that day, and I live a peaceful life. We go back to my parents' house on weekends and relax. Watching my 4-year-old son grow up is my happiness now.
How did you like this story? Please subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.
What are you talking about? My sister's strictness is kindness, you know?
Do you really think so? Fine, then please leave. My name is Olivia. I have a daughter named Emma who has just started elementary school. I quit my job after giving birth to her and now I'm a full-time housewife. Watching Emma grow every day makes me very happy. However, I have a little problem. It's about my husband Michael's sister, Nancy. She is 10 years older than us and a very reliable person. You could say she has a strict and stoic personality. But, she's a little too strict, or rather, she has a sarcastic personality. She doesn't even tolerate small mistakes. For example, she doesn't even forgive a small mistake in speech.
Nancy, can I ask you to buy something? I need flour. Oh, I mean breadcrumbs. I need breadcrumbs.
Mom, what are you talking about? You don't want flour? Really, breadcrumbs? It would be annoying if you said it was different later. Please check it right now.
When I went to my in-laws' house, she had a conversation like this with her mother. She even talks to her own mother like this. Of course, she treats everyone around her the same way.
Olivia, do you want some sweets? I have chocolate and strawberries, but which one do you prefer?
Huh? I like both, so either one is fine. Please choose the one you want to eat.
You know, I asked which one you wanted to eat. Why can't you answer the question? Do you not understand what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. Then I'll have the chocolate, please.
That's all right. From now on, answer clearly. I hate people who are slow.
Actually, she's not strict with everyone around her. She's only strict with women. In fact, she's always soft to her younger brother Michael.
Boys are always spoiled. It can't be helped, right?
Because of that, I've been disliked since I married Michael. No matter what I do, I'm always criticized for something small. If I don't talk, I'm rude, and if I talk too much, I'm annoying. So I've always avoided her because I'm not good at dealing with her. That's not the case anymore. This is because her strictness has now become targeted towards my daughter, Emma. She is very strict with Emma, who has just started first grade. For example, children at this age are not yet good at pronunciation. Some children may say a T instead of a TH, or S instead of sh. Nevertheless, she gets angry even at such things.
Listen, speak clearly. Do you think you can act cute? That doesn't work with me.
She even complains if Emma drops a little food during meals, even if it's something small and slippery like cherry tomatoes.
Can't you eat properly? A child like you shouldn't sit on chairs. How about sitting on the floor?
She also gets angry when Emma's voice gets a little louder while watching her favorite anime.
You're noisy. Think about other people.
Emma seems to dislike her aunt as well because she's always like this.
I don't want to see Aunt Nancy.
I also tried to keep our distance from her for Emma's sake. But, she comes to our house without permission. And my husband Michael, who is her real brother, doesn't try to stop her.
Nancy is kind. Even though she's strict now, she really cares about Emma. You know, when we were students, we hated strict teachers, but we appreciate them when we grow up. It's the same thing.
But she is too strict. I think it's too much for Emma's age. I feel sorry for Emma.
That's not true. Maybe you're too soft on Emma. Maybe you should discipline her more strictly?
Why would you say that? Emma is obedient and a good girl.
Are you sure? Emma must be really bad if Nancy gets angry. After all, Nancy is a veteran elementary school teacher.
Yes, my sister-in-law has a long career as an elementary school teacher. That's probably why Michael doesn't question her words. But I think that's the reason. She works at the elementary school that Emma attends. Fortunately, the school does not assign family members as homeroom teachers. So my sister-in-law is not Emma's homeroom teacher. According to rumors, she is in charge of the 5th grade class. So she shouldn't have anything to do with Emma. But, she doesn't behave quietly even then. When she sees Emma at school, she scolds her in the same way as she does at home. She comes from the end of the hallway and gets angry over trivial things.
Yesterday, I was talking with my friend in the hallway. Then Aunt Nancy came. She said it would be annoying if we walked side by side in the hallway. She told us to think about other people. But my friend and I weren't running. We were just talking in a quiet voice. There were other children around who were making more noise.
Nancy always scolds only Emma like this. As a result, Emma has recently been saying that she doesn't want to go to school. It seems that she is also being avoided by her friends.
I like Emma, but when I'm with you, I feel scared because the scary female teacher comes. So it's okay to play at home or somewhere else. But I don't want to be with you at school.
Emma seems to be even more sad when she hears things like this. After being told this much, I can't stay silent as a mother. Even if I don't have an elementary school teaching license, I am Emma's greatest supporter. So I talked to Nancy, who came to our house at Michael's request. And I confirmed that Emma's story was true.
But what can we do? Young children have bad manners. It's the teacher's job to teach them properly. And why are you complaining? Olivia, are you being too overprotective?
But Emma said there were other children making noise around her.
Oh, really? I don't remember that. And that's why we have to be strict with family members. I have those feelings too, you know?
As expected of Nancy.
Michael, be quiet. Nancy, isn't that an abuse of power? Emma is too pitiful.
That's not true. I'm a teacher. I'm right. It's obvious that I'm right.
As expected, she doesn't listen. And she even made threatening remarks to Emma.
Hey, Emma. Did you tell your mom? You're such a terrible child for telling on me right away. Children like you will be hated by your friends too.
With these words, I lost my patience. Get out of here right now. Your very existence is having a negative impact on Emma.
Humph. How rude of you to say that.
Olivia, why don't you calm down a bit?
Why are you so calm as if it's someone else's problem?
Come on.
Stop laughing and think seriously. Don't you care about protecting Emma, Michael?
Of course I do. But Nancy has a point too.
Fine. If that's the kind of father you are, I don't need you. I want a divorce. Michael laughed at my words as if he was making fun of me. And then he said something provocative.
Ha! Interesting. You, a full-time housewife, want a divorce? Do you know that you can't live without money? You can't live on the money in Emma's toy cash register. You can't even buy meat or vegetables.
What are you talking about? Are you making fun of me? Who do you think you are?
I'm your husband. If you really want a divorce, I'll sign the divorce papers anytime. Bring the divorce papers when you're ready, and I'll divorce you right away.
Michael probably thinks that I can't really get a divorce. He said it with a relaxed expression. But I didn't bring up the topic of divorce just because I was impulsive. After hearing those words, I took out the divorce papers that I had put in my pocket. Okay, then sign this. You'll divorce me right away, won't you? Come on, hurry up.
No! Wait a minute. It's a joke. Why did you prepare something like this?
I was planning to give you one last chance this time. I wanted to see if you would protect Emma from Nancy. But a father who doesn't support his daughter is not needed by Emma. We're getting a divorce.
No, wait! That's just talk. I don't want a divorce. Children need fathers.
That's right, Olivia. What about the economic situation? You're a full-time housewife, aren't you? Calm down.
Please be quiet, Nancy.
I can't be quiet. Emma is a precious student at our school and my niece. Do you intend to make her uncomfortable? Olivia, women should obey men. Men are the breadwinners. They are the heads of the household. It's disrespectful not to respect them, isn't it?
She imposes old values, and Michael listens to her with satisfaction. I was so fed up with talking to these two that I couldn't stand it anymore. So I said these words. If you're going to say that much, I'll say it. Breadwinner? Head of the household? Those are words that can be said because you're financially supporting the family, right? But the name of this house is mine. Of course, the land is mine too, and our savings are almost entirely from my earnings, right? This is a true story. Even though I'm a full-time housewife now, I used to be a surgeon before giving birth. And to be honest, I worked at a pretty big hospital. Before giving birth, I was doing surgeries and night shifts and earning a lot of money. We even bought this house in cash with my salary at the time. On the other hand, Michael, who has been spoiled by his sister since he was young, has a sloppy personality. Even as an adult, he runs away from unpleasant things and only works part-time jobs occasionally. He usually doesn't do housework at home and just plays games all day. He doesn't earn any living expenses, so he was living off my savings. I was enduring it, thinking that I could save money again if I returned to work. I was attracted to Michael's freedom when I was young, but I regretted getting married recently. But Emma still loved Michael. So I thought I wouldn't get a divorce just for her sake. But you will choose Nancy over Emma and me, right? Then Emma is more important to me than you. I don't need you. Get out.
No, that's, wait, Olivia. If we calm down and talk, we'll understand each other.
Talk? What can I talk about with you, who is at your sister's beck and call without thinking? Come on, you said you'd sign the papers, right? Don't lie.
I didn't.
Nancy, as a teacher, isn't lying bad for both adults and men?
Well, that's true, but...
Nancy!
Michael and my sister-in-law were both reluctant to get a divorce. But they must have realized that they couldn't repair things from here. After a few hours of arguing, he reluctantly agreed to the divorce. From now on, please contact my lawyer for any further matters. Emma and I will move to a monthly apartment for the time being. I will let you know the lawyer's contact information at a later date. I took the divorce papers and left home with only the bare minimum of my belongings. I thought Emma would resist more, but she was probably happier to be away from my sister-in-law than to be separated from Michael. She followed me with a big smile on her face. After that, I moved out of the monthly apartment in a few months and moved near my parents' house. I couldn't get any compensation from Michael, but I was able to get him to waive his right to property division. He still contacts me occasionally, but I ignore everything. It's a situation where I could completely ignore him if there were no visits with Emma. Anyway, I was able to improve the environment for raising my child by moving near my parents' house. And luckily, there was a vacancy in the surgery department of a nearby large hospital, so I was able to return to work. My parents helped me with night shifts. I'm really grateful. The only regret was that I had to transfer Emma to a new school due to the move. She had just gotten used to the school after a few months of enrollment. But to my surprise, Emma quickly adapted to the new school.
I miss my friends, but I'm happy that Aunt Nancy isn't at school. I've made new friends and it's really fun.
She says this every day and goes to school happily. In fact, she seems to have made quite a few new friends, so there's no need to worry too much. The most important thing is that Emma can enjoy her daily life. As for Nancy, I reported her to the school. I told them about how she treats Emma at home and what Emma told me about school. Then I found out something surprising. She is a teacher who is criticized for favoring male students. Apparently, there were complaints almost every week in the class she was in charge of.
I heard from my daughter that she's only kind to male students. Why do you send my daughter to the hallway when she forgets her homework? Is it true that you only say it's okay, but please remember to bring it next time to male students?
Is it true that you give jelly from the school lunch to male students only? I heard that you're doing this because of the difference in body size between boys and girls. But aren't girls bigger than boys in upper elementary school? This is clearly favoritism, isn't it?
She was already being criticized like this. Of course, not only parents of female students but also parents of male students had a bad reputation.
It's difficult even if you're overly kind. Can't you respond firmly as a teacher?
My child said it's unpleasant to see you being strict only with female students. It's bad for children's education, so please change the homeroom teacher.
Because she was such a teacher, it seems that she will not be the homeroom teacher for 6th graders next year. I heard that she will be transferred somewhere when the transfer period comes. After divorcing me and losing his income, Michael seems to be struggling. He says strange things when we meet regularly.
Please come back to me. I can't say that now. But can you support me with money? Yeah, $2,000 a month is fine.
Of course, there's no way I can accept such a request. In the future, I plan to reduce the number of visitation days unless Emma wants to see him. Of course, I intend to prioritize Emma's feelings, but personally, I don't want to see Michael as much as possible. More than that, I want to cherish my time with Emma. Since I returned to work, I have less time to spend with her than before. But I can do my best for Emma.
I want to be like Mom someday. I want to be a great doctor and help lots of people. So Mom, let's work together someday.
Being with Emma, who says such happy things, is my happiness. I'll do anything to protect this happy life from now on.
How was this story? Please subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.